welcome to another episode of RozelleTV. I'm here today with Robin Zirwanda.
That's right.
The front man for Azadoota.
That's right.
Now, I'm really wanting to know a lot about your band, but
Sure.
before we get there, first of all, I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
But before we go there, I'm just fascinated by people, how they end up coming to Australia. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in Iraq, Baghdad, and I grew up in Iraq and Azadoota in the 50s, 1953, and it was really good. The vibe was good. There was a lot of different community, and I grew up with a lot of like my father being he was a soccer star in Baghdad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of the best goalkeepers in Iraq ever seen.
Right,
Apparently,
okay.
he was one. So when I was a kid, I used to go and watch him, and then he was working for American embassy. So we were involved for the British, the American, and the town is beautiful, and the place called Dora that we used to live in.
So where's Dora? Is that up north? Is it?
Dora, no, it was like I'd say 15 minutes from Baghdad, the capital.
Right, okay.
Near the Tigris River. So
Right,
they just
yes.
built this whole town just for Assyrian.
Okay.
So they were living there, and everybody knew this street. It was just almost like Lilyfield, you know, just like this area.
Lovely Lilyfield, yes.
Yeah, Lilyfield, Roselle. Everybody knew each other, and there was parties. There was, they were celebrating. There was sugar. They could all live together, and there was all this sport and the music that was coming out of it because they were communing with each other.
Yes.
So there was a lot of fun in there. But as we grew up, and as the drama started happening in Iraq between some war and that.
So what was the drama? Because I know Iraq's gone through so many different wars and dramas. What was actually particularly happening there?
On our time, we had a lot of issues, a lot of war with Iran. So
yes.
a lot of people, young guys, soon you don't go to school or study. The next thing was army, and they had a war between Iran for 10 years.
Yes,
So
yes.
that took a lot of age of it with just the constant war, and so it only affected the school and that. But for us, we sensed that we had no choice but get out of there. Otherwise, you're gonna involve with that cycle.
Yes.
Because when you live in that countries, like people blame Muslim or Christian or whatever, but when you live in those countries, you can't help it. Like if you're Syrian or Christian or Armenian, you have to be who you with. Your family, you can't change.
Yes.
And they take side, and we take side, and
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty, just
Yes.
because you gotta take a side, really, whatever. So, and we heard about Australia. There was some family that they came, I think, 50s or something.
Oh, okay.
The early 50s, I think, and they came back. They said how good it was, and Australian people how good they were, but they were complaining about flies and stuff like that. So they got big flies there, and they were like almost scaring us. How big? That's what we're.
So tell me then, did you finish high school in Iraq, or what happened for you?
I didn't. We weren't studying. To be honest with you, like the school wasn't doing anything for us. There was no education. There was some people said because things were in age. Like there was a really almost feel that they're not getting on well with Christianity and Muslim.
Yes. Right.
So some people migrate to Australia, to America, and I think 40s or 50s they were starting down, and the response we were hearing from them, there was a really peaceful.
Yes.
You can come here and work and
Yes.
build and
Yes.
do anything. And I wasn't studying, so I just decided I had some cousin and relative living in Kuwait, and the only way you can get out of Iraq, like when I went to get my passport, they only write only Arab countries 18 only, so you can't go anywhere else. School holiday.
Right. Okay.
So I went with my mom and I pretended I'm gonna come to Kuwait to school holiday.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So I did that, and then I stayed there, and I had a bit of work, and I started working with cousin and all that, just to earn some money, and waiting. I had a cousin and his sister, David and Marlon. They were living in Randwick.
Okay.
So
yes.
that
Yes.
if you got a relative, you can sort of, because I was underage.
Yes.
So we went through a process. I stayed there, I think 8 months or something. We went through a process of trying to get the passport out from Kuwait to Australia.
Yes.
So we had to go, and then we had to pay like almost $4,000.
A lot of money then.
It was
a lot of
400
money.
dinars, like
Yes.
it was $4,000, just to scratch only and put Australia.
Right. Yes.
So they did it. Apparently, somebody told me they used to do the potato stamp.
Right.
They had a potato, they had a stamp, pen on. They put me on the plane, dressed up, to Australia
At 16.
at 16.
Wow. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I've got one brother younger than me. I got another sister that passed away because of cancer, and I got another younger sister. That's
Right,
four.
okay. So that was a pretty tough call to leave, just leave family and come to Australia
It
at
was
16.
very cold, but when I got here, a funny story. When I got here, the people that came to the airport, they missed me out. The flight was late.
Dear.
So I got a taxi. I came to Randwick, walking up and down the street, Warrington Avenue, looking for Assyrian-looking people.
Goodness me.
Yeah, so in Australia those days there weren't many sort of.
So you're noticeable.
Yeah, and I saw one lady walking past and I said, "Excuse me, do you know if any Assyrian live here?" She said, "Yeah, in my apartment here, David and Mama."
Wow.
Took me up there waiting, and then they come back and saw me. I lived there,
Yes.
and then life started at Randwick when I was. What a
Fantastic.
beautiful country. I stayed there for, I think, 8 months a year, and then I rang my parents.
Yes.
I said, "This is a beautiful country,
Yes.
blah blah blah.
Yep.
You gotta come here."
Yes.
They did the same thing. You migrate to Kuwait.
Yes.
You leave your house there. You don't tell anybody you're selling. Nothing.
Wow,
You just
okay.
leave a house there, and you migrate to Kuwait. They came to Kuwait, stay a few months, got their papers done, take
Wow.
their money, and we come to Australia.
Fantastic. So that's some story.
It took a long time, but we made it here comfortable.
And so, what did your? I mean, that was a big change for your parents because they would have to come here, find work, start again.
Yeah.
Language would have been an issue.
My father can speak English.
He can speak
because he was
English,
with the
right.
English and American
Right,
working.
right.
But us, we didn't know. And when we came to Australia, when we still learned new English words,
Yes.
your mum will tell you, "Shush, speak Assyrian. Don't speak English in the house."
Oh,
We
really?
used to do one, and we're trying to learn English. So, I wasn't like I didn't go to school, but my other brothers and sisters went to school.
Yes.
And that was it. I started playing soccer for Assyrian Eagle.
Assyrian Eagle, right?
Assyrian for a long time, and then we got picked up to play for Corinthians, which is second division Australia.
Okay.
So I started
Yes.
I used to practice at the Edgecliff. We
Yes.
had a British coach,
Yes.
and the hardest training I've ever done.
Really?
You train, and then you make us run from Edgecliff all the way to Bondi or Coogee,
Yes. Yes.
uphill, run back,
Yes.
when you think it's finished, then you start doing the rest of it. I did that for a long time. Then my parents, I was missing my community in Fairfield.
Right.
Like
Okay.
when I was playing here, nobody knew me.
Yes. Yes.
So when I play for community, all the people that come there and support me, so my parents said, "You gotta play for this." So I left that and come play for Assyrian Eagle for so many years. And then my father and all that, we were all working, we decided to go to Gulf Nolan, Arnhem Land,
Arnhem Land. Okay.
to work there. So we all went there and we worked there and we saved a lot of money. And then I started a band and I played soccer for Northern Territory. And then my dad bought a fruit shop.
Okay. Yes.
From soccer, from music, he put me into fruit shop. Hi Dad, if you're watching. He's not gonna like it. So I lost the 6 months. I said, "Dad, I love you dearly. I'm gonna go to the King's Cross and play congos."
So that's the start of your music career.
This is it. I had congos, I went to the cross, I went there, I used to play at the Mandri Club, started
Yes.
playing congos,
Yes.
and then worked for congos, played with everybody playing congos, then played drum, restaurant mom, worked in the Spanish club playing congos, bongos, worked with Latin Fire, worked with Floyd Winston Child Bride for 6 years, and in 86 I did the tour with Don McLean.
Really?
Yeah, in 86 I chose to go 3 months with Don McLean around the country, and that was the best time of my life.
Yes.
He was a really nice guy, a very, very good singer.
Right.
And he
Right.
goes, "Robin, you gotta gamble on yourself."
And then you started.
And after flying with Floyd Winston Chaba for 6 years, then I started Azadoota, and we've been going for 16 years.
So they would have started what 96.
96, yeah, it'd be 16 years, and we've done all the gigs and pub around the country.
Yes.
We've been as far as Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Karratha. It's miles away, Karratha.
But tell me that your band, it's more than just about music. It's like a theatrical event. Is that?
It is. It's almost like when I do perform, I've been here like since 71.
Yes.
So we just break the barrier a bit. Like
Yes.
from 70s to 90s,
Yes.
I couldn't have done what I'm doing now.
Yes.
Like singing Arabic, Assyrian, and mixed a bit Latin.
Yes.
So I had to play, I was playing drum or percussion. And you can do that.
Yes.
Even like, there was a lot of work for Congo. But with that, playing with all these bands and supporting, working with John Paul Young, with Mentalist, anything, you name it, we've done it. I've done all that, just, you know, sometimes I still work with 5 bands a week.
Really?
Yeah, just playing percussion. And that band, now it just like breaks the barrier a bit. We got...
you got 2 albums, have you?
No, this is our 4th one.
Oh, this is your 4th one, okay, fantastic.
Yeah, one.
Right.
And we got an American and the drummer in the band.
Yes.
We got Scottish man playing percussion.
Yes.
We got Danny John, he's an Indian born Canberra.
Okay.
Bass player is an Aussie.
Yes.
We got a Russian backing vocalist singers.
So we get a truly multicultural band.
It is really cultural.
And how appropriate with Australia they're coming up. And this is what's so beautiful about this
is
country.
what's really good about Australia. Like we're all sharing that beautiful day. We express ourselves, and we really, I always say, for a lot of Aussies, thank you for giving us home.
Yes.
Thank you for being so nice people.
Yes.
And giving us home. And also, a lot of people like us, when they come to this country, it heals you up from the trauma you've been through.
Yeah, indeed.
The Christianity or the Buddhism or when we come here, we forget it. The Aussie way is the best culture.
Yes.
Just like be nice, work, do whatever you want to do.
Yes.
It's there. Don't bother anybody else. Doesn't matter where you come from, what we do.
Indeed.
And we learn that. I learned this from here. Every gig I say thank you, Aussie, for giving us home and place to live.
Yes.
That's how I feel about Australia. Seriously.
I get that. Tell me the name of your band, Azadoota. What does it actually mean?
Azadoota means freedom.
Freedom. And why did you pick that name? What was the thinking behind that?
Honestly, the real story is when an Assyrian, when some child is being spoiled, they say they've given him too much Azadoota.
Right.
So
yes.
It means freedom.
Yes.
But too much freedom is no good.
It's no good either. Yes.
So, and one of my nephew, I didn't know he had a schizophrenia.
Okay, yeah, schizophrenia.
I didn't know. He used to just use us a lot. So I drove him all the way to Fairfield, 4 o'clock in the morning, and didn't say anything. Thank you, goodbye, nothing. Just slammed the door and see you later.
Right.
So I was driving. I rang Ellie up. I said, Ellie, how do you spell Azadoota? She said, what do you mean? I said, I've got to name the band Azadoota because this guy just doesn't have respect, doesn't it? Just too much freedom.
Yes.
So, and the band member, we argued with him, and we had like a list. We wrote all the names.
Yes.
You know, all the name and the Azadoota stood up. I kept it. It's a good name.
It's a terrific name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is freedom. So, this country gives a lot of freedom. What I do, where I come from, some other country, you don't get it.
So tell me, for somebody who doesn't know about your band, to me, the music is about celebration, is it? It's very uplifting, it's about celebration, it's about dancing,
home,
is it?
celebration, weddings.
Yes.
A lot of trance. There's one song I've written it recently about one of my ladies passed away from cancer, whatever, Hey Maro.
Right.
And I just wrote a song about it. I wrote a song about Joshi. I wrote about Nishra is the eagle. There's one song called Nishra is the eagle. How look at the eagles looking with his eyes,
Yes.
showing us the way how to get back home safe. Because it doesn't matter how comfortable we live here, we really miss our relative. Aunties, really, I've got so many in America, in Canada, in Sweden, in Germany.
Yes.
You miss that.
Yes.
That's what we used to have in Baghdad, in Iraq, and areas. We don't want the relative vibe, you know?
Yes.
You're not lonely.
Yes.
And even though it's beautiful here, but
there's always the pain.
yeah,
There's the pain of
you're missing.
separation.
Yeah. So with the song,
Yes.
that's the only way I can reach there.
Yes.
The radio. I thank the Triple J. I thank all the community radio stations that they play and
Okay.
stuff.
Yes. Very good.
So it really helped. And London, one of the songs they played, Josh's song in London.
Oh, really?
I was
Yeah.
really impressed that they played it there.
Fantastic. Tell me this, if we're gonna finish up here, but how can people get to hear your band? Where you got a whole lot of gigs coming up. What's the closest one to Lilyfield this year?
We're playing at Gary Almond, where we are now, this beautiful place that has been renovated. And the only reason I want to do this gig is just to have this community, put a different vibe in it, because there's a lot of us here. A lot of people, they want to travel distance away. But here,
What date is it on here?
1st of February.
1st of February. So you're hearing RozelleTV. Thanks so much for tuning in. And Robin, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much. Cheers. All the best.
Bye bye.